Things. I just decided to go live because I missed it yesterday. I mean, I might miss it tonight. I don't know. I mean, I'm telling you the truth. I've been going through some stuff, so you know, when you're going through some things, I try to tell people, because you never know what other people are thinking, especially when it comes to you. You know what I mean? Because some people may have the wrong ideas about you, especially since I've been slandered. So I kind of keep a little bit of rapport on my channel, so people ain't freaking out. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I'm, I'm trying to do a new hairdo. You know, that way so some of the weirdos can just back off of me. You know what I mean? I ain't even nowhere near a beauty queen, but I still can get them. You know what I'm saying? They want to keep rapport of my whereabouts. I got black people, white people, Chinese people, Mexican people, and if I had more money than I did people that trying to keep up on my whereabouts, I wouldn't be going through this. You know what I mean? Yeah, that's a nice, but you know what I mean? They ain't decent. Yeah. Now the honey traps is a little bit more decent. You know what I mean? Yeah, I like that. But I ain't falling for none of it, honey. I'm trying to get my life together. So you know, nice African. Anyway, you know, things in life is just tough. I don't know. I'm just looking at some things, because I'm not letting the enemy tell me what I can get. I'm letting the Most High tell me what I can get. You know, I've been through a lot. That's one way that you're prophetic is that you go through a lot. You go through a lot. I mean, whether it's through childhood or whether it's through, you know, you go through a lot. The warfare is intense when you're trying to do something and the Most High has your backing, but it's just Satan. He knows that he just can't get you. He just can't get you. And so when you have that kind of call on your life, people try to look at you like you're a failure, and they're knowing all along that they done something to you. So that's what I'm at with that. Um, you know, Thank you for everybody coming in the chat. Hey, what's up? I mean, people said, you think it's those perps in your channel. I don't worry about that. I don't worry about who's on my channel. Um, I haven't done anything that's really indecent. Um, all I'm saying is I'm just trying to make it like everybody else. Everybody else. I'm just trying to get a roof over my head, and it's usually never been a real obstacle for me, but because of what someone wants to do, and the fascinated person that I am, I guess they don't think that they're fascinated. That's all that tells me. They're not fascinated. They're not a fascinating person. They have to use other people to do certain things. And I'm not saying anyone in here. I'm not talking about that brother over there. I don't know who he is, but it just seemed like as soon as I got on this live, you know, it says, I'm trying to read your name. Hey, have a blessed day. Yeah, you have one too. I don't be knowing where these people. You know what? I be seeing a lot of people on my channel. So hit the like button when you're here. Even if you're just saying, hey, make sure you hit the like button, like, subscribe. You know what I mean? I'm going to do some more things. I'm still waiting on my employment thing, I got things going. So till then, I'm on these YouTube streets. I'm really on the streets. But But hey, ain't no shame in my game. That's what gets me far in life. I don't hide stuff. I don't know how you expect to get help by hiding things. I done said it on my YouTube page. I done put it on my Twitter page. Hey, Kanye, rock me a couple bands or something. You know what I mean? Quit talking about the Hitlers, and I have no. That's how I feel about it. Yeah, I mean, how you gonna get help? You don't tell somebody. You know. Everything is a part of the process of life. The thing is, you don't have to stay here. You don't have to stay homeless. You don't have to stay in a bad situation. But that's the part of the problem when you're not communicating with people. That's how Satan get in. He's all about switching up and changing things. And when this person is that's where the narcissist comes in. The narcissist is always in the middle. He's telling this person one thing, and he's telling you something else. So that's where that confusion comes from. That's what one thing about a narcissist. They're all about confusion. They say just see if she comes over here. Go see her. Go stand over here. You know what I mean? I don't know what I don't keep up with that, because if someone's willing to listen to that, that's not my problem. You know what I mean? My problem is just sitting here, relaxing, get my phone charged in the process. And that's how I do it. So, you know what I mean? I kind of feel like I'm in high school somewhat. You know what I mean? I guess because I'm all around teenagers. Teenagers are old people. But I look at the younger generation, and I wonder, is there hope for these people? And a part of me says no, because of how they carry themselves. There's no integrity. They're just okay. Follow the crowd, okay, but the crowd can lead you to death. So always use wisdom when you're following someone, because I'm not saying if they got positive insight and good direction, they're showing it. It's a good thing, but you know, um, anyway, is that the only person who on my live? You know what I mean? That's just how I live. You cannot let people bring you down. You know what I mean? And it helps to serve the Most High, because He can give you that discernment. That person's trying to bring you low. Okay, well, I just ignore them. So that's how you would handle people like that. You know what I mean? There's people that for whatever reason want to steal my light. You know what I mean? It's right up here. It's right up there. They already stole my 2 suitcases of my clothing. So if you see me in a couple of things, washed it, I'm gonna turn it over like face on your damn money. So or smoke. I've got some things coming. I gotta go get them. So, but it's a shame. One of them got a real thick lock on it. So, I guess they must have thought it was some drugs in there. Ain't nothing in there gonna be sitting there by itself. I'm, you know, if people think that, then they don't know nothing about drug dealing. You shouldn't, but I'm saying one thing, you gonna just leave stuff sitting like that. If 9 times out of 10 the other one ain't got it, then that ain't got it. So, but anyway, I'm just, that's, when you want something in life, you have to go out there and get it. You have to imagine, like I was on that bed. Um, I remember I had, when I got my home and everybody else had their bed, I said, God, it'd be a blessing if I had my bed. If I get my bed, I said, that'd be a blessing to get my bed and sit there and lay there and watch Lifetime. And not too long, I had my bed. I was sitting there and I was watching Lifetime. He's saying I need to bring those back. You know what I mean? What I'm wanting in life, you know. Um, you know, I just kind of live day by day. You know, um, trying to, just make sure, even though I'm not with my kids, I still try to make sure they're doing what's right. You know, don't, you know, learn how to make choices. You got to teach your kids how to make choices. And that's the big thing for my kids. Right choices. Would you want to do that? That kind of thing I do to my kid. Or would you want me to do that to you? And then they will know. So, I don't know. So, um, so, you know, I got some different things coming to my channel. I can get my hair done first. You know, this is cute. Anyway, I got some different things doing. I mean, pretty much I keep it real here. You know what I mean? I don't hide anything, and I ain't afraid to call people out. You know, I got to go back and look at Pastor Dow, his channel. I don't know if he in secret competition with some other content creator on having babies or whatever, but oh my God, you know, I gotta beat him. I gotta beat. How though? You know, I don't know. A big family, I guess. I'm good. You know what I mean? I can, but I think I wanted that when I was younger. I wanted a big family, and then when I got older, I actually seen the baby come out. I take what I can get, yeah, because that's painful. You know, again, you giving birth, you know, that's what I be asking. When I go across some of the men that are transgender, like, can you see yourself having a period and pushing a baby out? And they go, no, no, we don't want to talk about that. No, you don't want to talk about that. You don't want to talk. You just want to put on makeup and do hair and wear dresses and stuff. But what about pushing that baby out of there? Yeah, yeah, yeah. You want to bypass that one. I guarantee most of them say they want to end the conversation on that. Because I'm just saying, you sure you want to be a woman? Because all that part, you just like to be in men's faces and stuff, and most women don't even do that. So, you know, you know what I mean? Um, yeah, Atlanta, it's got some allergies. I wonder where's another place I could move to. I'm just saying, it takes too long to get housed here. You know, and put up. Where's some other decent places that's in the warmth that have like nice housing, low income. A chick on Section 8. I'm trying to get off, but you know what I'm saying. Anybody know any other warm places to live outside Atlanta? I gotta expand my horizon. You know what I mean? The warmth, not too far over and on the West Coast, but you know, anybody know? You know, I'm just saying, it's something about being in cities. The only thing I say about Florida, they got like some strange bugs. Like they bugs is pretty, they creepy. Like look at that pretty teal pink bug. Like ooh, they got some strange bugs. But I'm getting tired, so I just came on just in case I can't get on tonight. Just browsing some things that I might want for my home. For me and my children, what I would like. Some real nice stuff. Right now I'm on a massage channel. I don't know what happened to the massage. What happened to the massage?
That's all I've been thinking about. I've been looking forward to this like low so.
There it is. This ain't like the other one at the gym. Um, yeah, getting a back massage. A chair. Yeah. I mean, everybody come here instead of paying $7.50 to just sit in a massage chair, and then the thing don't work. Anyway, I guess my onion's scared of me, so anyway, that's how I like it. Anyway, I got some serious topics to talk about. You know what? You know, people are talking about I really need to be more candid. I was trying to get into a room, but people are talking about the little Wayne and his mother. He kicked out um, the girlfriend and her daughter, and it appears that this lady is white. You know what I mean? And I was gonna make a video about this, but I could do it here. Doesn't matter. Basically, I remember when I was young. I have all kinds of friends: black, white, Chinese, Mexican. So I realized that women, some women of other races, they get so close to me that they say things to me, and it's just this, it's still the same spirit of jealousy. And I'm not saying all white women, but a white woman that I thought was a friend to me had said, you know what, I can handle your men better than you. And I said, what do you mean? She said she can handle my men better than me, meaning my black men. She can she can handle them better than me. I don't know what that means, but meaning that she can have a relationship. She know how to get them and control them better than me. I guess that's what she's at. So you know, um, I laugh when women say that. That's where I have very rare female friends because when things go for me, they're saying you, versus whoever they are. I don't know their lifestyle, but I don't feel that way. Um, whatever's for her is her. If Little Wayne finds her attractive, whatever he likes in her, he's gonna do that. But you have to understand that a person doesn't change their stripes just because you're a certain color. Okay. Now he does says he like long hair, don't care, light skin. He's talked about the type of women he like. But just because he's talking about it doesn't mean he's gonna treat you any better than the other ones that he was dating. So even if he got a light skinned woman, um, you know, he had some of the best beautiful women in the industry. And Lil Wayne chose this other lady. I don't know who she is. And God bless her. But a lot of times women do that, white women do that when they get with black men, especially that are celebrities. They think that they can't get dogged out because they think they have the antidote of our men, and they're not understanding the man that they're with. Now, if you're with dating somebody like Little Wayne, Little Wayne is a down to earth person. You know, he's a down to earth person. Meaning he can get on many levels of different colors, not racist, different colors and creeds of people. But at the same time, Little Wayne is after his. You know what I mean? For however she was living there, however she was living in Little Wayne's home, you know, that made her think that I'm phenomenal. And I'm sure many women have lived in Little Wayne's house. I don't know her situation. I don't know their situation, but white women have a problem sometimes of thinking that I can outdo you and your own men. And that's not the case. Because sometimes you have to realize that that may not be the man for me. If I'm going to get in a relationship with someone, and yeah, I do like rappers, but I don't think it's going to be Lil Wayne because he has a repetitive rapport of how he's treated women, and he's never settled down with anyone. He's never really married any of the women that he was with. So, um, you know, that's two separate things. One with the woman that suggested that she can outdo me with my own men, and that's a lie. Because any man that she can get, that was for her. We may not like the same type of men, so I'm not racist and I'm not prejudiced. And whenever every time I see a black man with a white woman or other, I'm not a hater. I don't know their situation and circumstances. If they choose to do so, then that's that man's choice. If he wants to be with that woman, but if you're dealing with a dog gonna still dog you out. He just dog you out a whole different way. So, that's just how I see it. And true enough, they go hiding. They go hiding when they get mistreated. So, there's women out there that do believe that, and that's a secret they keep amongst themselves. Some white women or other women, they think I got this on. I got they men on lock, and when once you keep squeezing that bird, they're gonna leave or put you out. You know what I mean? Because sometimes they can be very, when I know some of the white women, they can be very controlling. They have this idea of, okay, I have to win his trust by giving him money or whatever they're doing. I'm not saying all, but I give him money. You know what I mean? Take him to parties, whatever. Pay on his card note or whatever. And I'm not saying it's always paying with money. Sometimes they're just out with the man and he's doing things for them as well. But it's a spiritual thing. If that man is a dog and he's cheated on other women, he's gonna cheat on you. If he hasn't brought himself to Christ and been set free, saved, and delivered, because there are men in the church that do that too, then that's what you're dealing with. And if you can get a man that's a black man to love you or respect you and treat you okay, you're never gonna hear anything from me. You're never gonna hear anything from me. I want the best for other people, and that's where people don't want it from me. That's where people don't want it from me. If you're a white woman and you can find a good black man to love you, respect you, and take care of you, I want that too. I want that too. I'm not ever one to hate on anything. My dad has married white women right after he married my mom and got a divorce. He's been with nothing but white women. So I've already seen how some women, um, you know, how black men try to get away from this certain thing, and it's with the white woman because it's a spiritual thing. My dad himself had married. I only know of two marriages of white women, and one of them I know her because of my stepsister. And I don't stay up in nobody's relationship, but it is what it is. I never really got into it with them, but of things that he were talking about, you know, um, pretty much, she was kind of dominating too. I mean, my mom, yeah, she was. Certain things that she want and she had with her money, that's how she had it. I don't know every aspect of their relationship, but she wasn't a pushover. Now, the other one that he married, I never met her. Excuse me, I got the hiccup. Never met her, and I thought that was strange. I never meet you. So, you know, at the time my dad was popping, you know, he had a key to the city, or a key to the uh, community. So he had a key to the community, and Becky was saying, "Hey," because she ain't know my dad is a tightwad. So Becky thinking, "Hey." He's driving a BMW. Yeah, low profile. Hey, my dad always drove either Mercedes or BMW. So I did, like I said, my childhood was decent. You know what I mean? Um, my dad would buy stuff for me. You know, but he would do it like if it's not your birthday. If it's your birthday, you good. If it's Christmas, whoa. Because I'm saying if I don't get it for my birthday, I'm gonna get it for Christmas. So even though I grew up in the projects, when my dad um, married my mom, we still live decent. You know, because I got two of the cheapest people, two of the cheapest parents. It's frugal, because I know it's, you know, I used to be like, wait a minute, what's going on? Every time they be having like, because both my parents come from the deep south and they eat hog and maws and, you know what I mean? And I'd be like, what's going on? Do we not have any money today? What's going on? Why are we eating like this today? And my dad get mad like, this is stuff that I miss eating. Yeah. So I just tell you the truth. You know, they just have this way that they eat food. And I used to think that, are we poor? Are we not having any money? Why are we eating salmon croquettes? Because that's something my mama always have salmon croquettes and pork chops. Why is we eating this today? Did something go wrong? Do we need to go to the pantry? As a kid, I didn't understand that this is just stuff some people just like to eat. Now I can get into salmon croquettes because I haven't eaten them in a long time. But when you keep having them over and over again, Lord. So I had to dip off a little bit, but but when I deal with my mom, uh, I mean, I was talking about the white thing. My stepmom, shout out Jenny, what's going, what's going? I haven't heard from them in years, and so my condolences to you know, to Jasmine and everything, you know, but I talked to Jenny, she's okay, but I'm talking about the other lady. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, she just was hidden. She never wanted to meet the kids, and that's how I knew she was probably racist because I'm saying she never want to engage with us. So, you know, and so you know, I figured something was going on. So, you know, next thing I know, my dad divorced her, and because I think she thought, it was a lot of money my dad had. He okay, but you know, some white women think that's what I want. I want the money. You know, I'm just saying for me myself, going on a date with somebody I know was famous, and then they're saying, I got all kinds of white women just coming around, and I'm saying, what's going on? And they're saying, you don't know who this is, and I'm like, I don't know. And he's like embarrassed, like, oh God, because I'm trying to get away from this. So, it's and I'm not saying all white women, you know what I mean? Okay, okay, but I'm just saying there's white women who think that they can, I got your man, you know what I mean? No, if you got him, that's your man. That's your man. That's not somebody I'm dating. If he's with you, then that's your man. But I mean, like I said, it's a spiritual thing. It's a spiritual thing where people think that they can take what's yours or whatever. And I'm saying I had this with black women, with white women, of thinking that I could outdo you in somewhere you're dating, and you know, I laugh because I'm saying, well, because I think about those times and I'm saying I wasn't dating nobody, and it's my choice, it's my choice. So I just think that, sometimes, especially she looked a little older, that was dating Little Wayne, and they get to the point where, they start doing things in the home, and they do little things to show that they care and love you or like you or whatever. And then, that's where the men start doing them, test them. The men, because Little Wayne, was he in his 40s? They get bored, you know what I mean? And they start doing those tests, you know what I mean? Like being gone all day, and let's see what's gonna happen here. Is she gonna flip out on me? Whatever. And 9 times out of 10, now the white woman, she gonna flip out. Where were you today? I had dinner here waiting. Oh, baby, it's okay. You know how he talk. Oh, okay. It's all right. It's all right. We good. We good. Oh, I already ate. Those are signs when men don't want you there. You know what I mean? So, I had dinner waiting, outside by the lake. It looked like she's one of those, I don't know her, but, oh, I was out chilling, I've been calling your phone. Those types. I've been calling your phone. And so yeah. Yeah, we was at that party, what I'm saying? You be calling, you was calling. And so, that's when, the men, you're nagging. You're nagging. You're nagging. And that's how they see it. You're nagging. You genuinely care about this man, and this man is just doing his own thing. But there were subtle signs that he was telling you getting on my nerves, and you ain't picked up on them. So, you know, so, you know, out you go. You know what I mean? I mean, there's several things that could make a man put a woman out. And that's really how it should be. One is trying to control and dominate him. Where he goes is where he goes. You know what I mean? Leave a text and be done with it. Leave a voice message. Having messing with his friends or having another man on the side. That'll put you out. You thinking he ain't knowing nothing. And you got the eviction notice. Being too clingy, you know what I mean? You know, okay, you're up on my heels. You're several things. Oh God, you know what I mean? Gotta get her out of here. You know, every time I unlock the door, open the door, you're sitting in the chair with wine, waiting on me. That'll get you out of there. Yeah. Let me see what else. I'm just trying to help the ladies. I get hated on. When men be in my home, I don't really have these problems. Sometimes I be trying to get them out. Can you please leave? I know I'm a good cook, but you can take a plate home. You know what I'm saying? Another thing, you're not cleaning. You're not cleaning. Ma, you staying in his home? We have maids here. No, you clean. Clean your mess up. You know what I mean? You in the house. If the maids ain't getting it, you get it. You get it. You in my home. That'll make him put you out. Oh. Hey, we another one. If you know that, hey, you stay here, you're gonna have to pay part on this. Now, that's his agreement. You got to pay part. Why you ain't paying a light bill? Well, I mean, you're a multi-million-dollar rapper. Get out. Get out. Because you said you was going to pay that. I'm just saying, well, I'm just saying, I'm just using them as metaphors. Of course, he'll pay his own bill. Yeah, I can pay my own damn light bill, So, that's one of the ones. Two, you put your family in there. Your family always, ooh, we gonna go by Little Wayne house. Let's go over your house and eat. Little Wayne's house is over there. Let's do it. No, out. You out of here. You are out of there. You know what I mean? That's 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 probably should be number one. All right, y'all, let's go over Little Wayne. We can have a party celebration. No, 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 no. Y'all gonna have to go. Yeah, he had the daughter over there. So her daughter was living in there. So what? You know, Dayton, Ohio, y'all bad on that. Y'all bad on that. You know what I'm saying? I meet y'all a week. The next week, y'all want to move in my home. Oh, so that's she probably was trying to bring the daughter in, see if she can get on the wheel or something. No, ow. That's my final thing. You know what I'm saying? Yes, when I was living in Dayton, Ohio, you know, everybody who everybody who wasn't from there, we had our little secret meeting, and we all concluded that those who were in Dayton, Ohio, you're quick to move in with people. See, I'm homeless. See, I just tread these streets, but y'all y'all just come in, and then next thing you know, you're like, when are you leaving? And you say, oh, um, I'm supposed to bring my kids over here tomorrow, because I thought you was just staying for a couple of days or so. Then next thing, a couple of days come a couple of weeks, and then now, bro, man, gotta call the police. Gotta call the police. That's how my husband did me. You know what I'm saying? I mean, not exactly like that, because I wasn't calling the police on him. You know what I mean? But that's how he did. You know, because I was like, okay, whose stuff is this? And he's like, that's my stuff. You know, because we live close to the job, so I was like, all right, that'll work. You know, and then I'm like, okay, so what are we here? Are we dating, or what are we doing here? Because I thought we had some other understanding. You know what I mean? You know, and he's like, yeah, because she know how to cook. Well, never mind. You know, I do my thing. So anyway, I'm keeping this clean and holy. So I'm just saying, women got to be really prepared. I just want to talk about that because I try to say things in fairness, black, white, Chinese, and But a woman has said that. A white woman said that to me. A lot of times, white women get intimidated. The ones that have black men, they're nervous around me, and I'm saying, why me? You know what I mean? Yeah, that's your man. So I ain't trying to take nobody's man, and I won't. So that's just something that I observed, and it's not just black women I could get into. It's a spiritual thing. Those who have a spirit of jealousy and envy, they come for me. You know, you know, even if they got their own man and they secure and they just feel a little nervous, around me, and I'm gonna say, I'm nothing. You beautiful. You're that. So that's where I don't want to be. I don't want to be. Nope. Wants me to Starbucks or somewhere. So that's just that. Yeah. Um, I ain't had nothing else to talk about since I don't know if I'm gonna do my live at night. You know what I mean? I got a mosquito bite on my hand. Ouch. All right. Don't nobody say nothing in the comment section. I guess the gang stalkers control my comment section. All right. Well, anywho, put make sure you hit the like button, like and subscribe. Next week we're talking about proxy by stalking, gang stalking, and how to get rid of them spiritually. That'll be my next topic. All right. Blessings.